Babies. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again today, people. Today we are for another episode of King-Ohger Babies, episode 45. Now we have for another episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, episode 45. And this episode was we're working up to the ending of the series, but still got some shenanigans thrown. Still got some shenanigans and funny stuff thrown in there. And in this episode, 3 of our freaking heroes get babyfied, and the other 2 get younger by 10 years. but because of Manangan, they ended up getting hit with these beams that basically turned them back, like that basically reverted their minds. And throughout the episode, we did see that they're taking care of the rest of the King-Ohger as babies. But one thing that was kind of cool, when Gira got sad, because he has Kawadaga soul in him, Kawadaga would like immediately run to him and try to protect him from whatever is making him sad. So like, it was kind of cool seeing Raculus come in and actually like taking care of him, I guess, like basically like taking care of him and letting people know that Kawadaga will come over here, he will start messing stuff up, so let's chill. But we did get the little thing going on with Suzume and Morphonia. Suzume got hit. When she got hit, she got reverted back 10 years ago before she fell in love with Raculus, and back when she was pretending to like Raculus and just to off him. But yeah, she got reverted back to that, and we see Morphonia basically got reverted back to 10 years ago, and we found out her backstory of like how we already kind of knew this, but found out her backstory, how she's basically the daughter of like 2 criminals, and we know that Gokhan is just a big kingdom full of criminals, and all the people who work in the castle and stuff, they are just criminals, but they're on parole, so everybody's there a criminal. She was basically born there, and she basically ran away to Tofu to like basically live out her dream. And her actual dream is to live in a warm country in which she's able to eat actual good food. And this was a plan set by, I know I'm all over the place, but hey, I'm just talking. But we get a plan. Basically, this was a plan between Dabowski and Rita, and they both basically decided to talk to each other's retainer to get them back to where they need to be. We say that Dabowski talks to Morphonia and Rita talks to Suzume. But while this is going on, we see that Raculus and Jeremy are basically hard at work taking care of our King-Ohger babies, and we see that Manangan is basically the culprit of this, and the fight that he had with them was actually kind of wacky, but how they got hit was because they were basically distracted. And we see that Yama basically tells Get Out that be careful with this guy, because like his power is time based, so we don't want another Doug Dad coming out of him and stuff like that. So they were like distracted on what they're actually going to need to do, and then all 3 of them end up getting hit. But yeah, it seems like Doug really didn't care about Manangan in the first. Like, he really didn't give a crap about Manangan in the first place, because it was Manangan's idea to even go out there and trying to get revenge for Haribel. And he was just like, oh, you're really willing to go out there even though you're just a husk for me to come back? And he's like, well, yeah, I want to make them pay for what they did. He's like, all right, cool, go, whatever. Like, he didn't care. Like, he really didn't care. Like, the dude is like so carefree acting when it comes down to this, taking out Terra, that he really don't care like that. But But yeah, so Monongon is our big bad for this episode, and we see that while the other two, while Dabolsky and Rita are talking to Suzume and Morphonia, they're trying to get them to understand their kings, like understand who they are and understand their kings and things like that. And after a while, they kind of get through to them. We see that Morphonia really didn't have like the confidence in herself to be the successor to Rita. She really felt like she didn't have the confidence in herself, because she's like the daughter of like crooks and things like that, and she's also really, really good at lock picking and stuff like that. So it's like she felt like she couldn't do it, and Suzume felt like she was truly devoted to her country, and she felt like she couldn't have the life that she wanted, and she felt like she was giving up finding the love of her life, because that's what her real dream was. But in this episode, they're trying to figure out what their powers are. They have basically now that from last episode, they have fully united. They fully united themselves. So now that they've done that, they can actually started training to see like what their powers were, and we see that Dabolsky's power is fire. He's able to just manifest fire. He's a freaking firebender, and he ends up setting himself on fire and giving himself third-degree burns. And we see that Rita doesn't have full control of her power either, because when he sets himself on fire, she puts him out, but she ends up like freezing herself. So they end up with third-degree burns and frostbite. But yeah, also next episode we are going to see what well, right now we already know what Yanuma's power is, and Gira, we also seen Gira's power. And next episode we're going to see what Himeno's power is, and I'm really looking forward to that. It looks like she pulls out a blade or something like that. But other than that, so now that Dabolsky and Rita have come together to basically fight Monongon, and they ended up fighting him. They ended up fighting him out pretty well, and they ended up using Rita's power. They basically combined their powers together as a offensive and defensive move, to where Rita basically shoots Monongon with ice and freezes him, and starts to freeze him, while Dabolsky uses his power to make sure Rita doesn't freeze herself. And yeah, we end up, and now Monongon is a big old icicle. But when they do defeat him, the all the stuff is like reversed. Like everybody basically goes back to normal, and Rita and Dabolsky basically talk with their retainers and stuff, and basically telling them that, hey, I know you. Rita's like, hey, I know you're gonna be a great successor of me and things like that. And Dabolsky's like, hey, you let me take care of Tofu, and you go off and you can go marry whoever you want. I know you want to marry Raculus, it's fine. Go marry Sir Raculus. It's very we good, dog. But yeah, and they actually let them live. Basically both live whatever dream they wanted. And we see Morphonia has taken back her her successor role and stuff like that. But now that Monongon is frozen, I wonder, how did that reverse the abilities? I mean, does it, I guess since he's not conscious anymore, it kind of reversed it. But yeah, I'm like, how did that do that? And also, when it came down to Morphonia and Suzume, I was just like, why did they only go back 10 years? But everybody else turned into babies. But yeah, I do like I did like this episode a lot. To me, the episode before this was a little bit better, but this episode was fine. But it just seems like we're not getting really further into. We're getting further into the plot. Let me stop. We are getting further into the plot, but it's kind of sluggish. It's kind of sluggish right now. I mean, like, only 2 jesters left, technically. Only 2 jesters left, which is freaking. We all know that Kamen probably gonna be the last one. Kamen probably gonna be after Gordy. But next episode is Gordy. So they might end up full on destroying Gordy, and it seems like Himeno's gonna be the one to do it, or she has to be. He's the one that took out her parents, and Jeremy was somewhat responsible for that too. So it's gonna be Himeno and Jeremy episode, and because this episode was a Dabrowski and Rita episode, which was cool. But other than that, this episode was cool. I was hoping for a little bit more in this, because there wasn't that much fighting and stuff like that. There wasn't really any fighting that much. Well, there was fighting, but the fighting was cool. But I was kind of hoping for a little bit more fighting, and I kind of wanted them to destroy Monangan, but at the same time we can't, because he's like a catalyst. He's like that one jester that you just know that something bad is gonna happen if I destroy this dude, and we don't need 2 Duck Dads walking around. We don't need we already got our hands full with one. We don't need another one out here messing stuff up. But other than that, this episode is cool. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of episode 45 of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As I always say, guys, stay Kenshin.